Welcome to episode 5 of our guided tour of Lowestoft's historic High Street, where we're travelling through time looking at some of the special buildings, houses and shops in this area. I'm Dean Parkin.
And I'm Ivan Bunn.
And we're looking at a rather grand house in the High Street today. It's called Crown House, isn't it?
Yes, this is number 49 High Street, also known as Crown House, because it's close to Crown School and the Crown Hotel opposite. And it is unique in the High Street at Lowestoft because it's the only house that actually has a front garden. It's a Grade 2 listed building, which means it's protected, and also it's reckoned to have been constructed around about 1760. A big house, 1911 census, it's listed as having 12 rooms. It's a very, very grand building with its grand doorway, and as such, grand buildings usually have grand residents, and the owner who resided here for many, many years was a very wealthy widow, Lady Pleasant Smith. She lived here most of her life until her death.
It is a very grand looking doorway, isn't it? You couldn't just have anyone walking out
No.
the door, could you? There's one person, isn't there? You'd miss him if you didn't look hard enough on the left. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's just walking by, isn't he? He looks very short, but actually it's just taken the other side of the wall, isn't it?
Yes, there's an open walled-in space opposite here. It's now been turned into a tiny little park.
That's right.
And this photograph has been taken over top of the wall.
Yeah.
At the time the photograph was taken, these were offices for the town council, the borough council.
The town hall is over the
town
road.
hall is almost
Over the
opposite
road,
here.
yes. So,
Yeah. And today, like so many, it's that's a better view now. Today is now, as are so many of the buildings in Lowestoft High Street, it's now divided into flats and apartments. But it is a grand building.
It's still got a garden.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we're now going to walk a bit further down the road, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've got an advert here, haven't we?
Yes.
For a shop.
This is the next building down. In actual fact, this is 50 High Street. You'd notice as well, unlike most streets, High Street houses are numbered sequentially. So we get 49, 50. We don't get odd numbers on one side and even on the other.
Okay.
And this is Frank Whitley's, to read his advert, his old established and best general and fancy draper in Osborne House on Lowestoft High Street.
I love the list of things that he sells. It's almost like a list poem there, and it's interesting to see what things you can still get or what might be wanted and which have just gone out of fashion. You've got dresses, laces, gloves, flannels, ribbons, aprons, linens, corsets, blouses, shirtings, silks, blankets, sheetings.
Then we've got jackets, hosiery, toweling, mantles, millinery, that's hats, calicos, linings, underclothing.
Yeah, still need those.
Handkerchief, fall mats.
Fall mats, are they're not net curtains, are they?
I think they could be net, because we don't know. It's difficult to say. It's not the biggest of buildings, as we shall see in a moment. Were all those departments crammed onto the ground floor, and Mr. Wheatley and his family lived on the top floor? Did he have a big house somewhere away from here, and it was only the staff that lived in? It's a world different to the one that we're familiar with today.
Well, he seems to be making a lot about the fact that he's been there a while. You've got the old established and best in general fancy draper, so he's probably been there 30 or 40 years or something, hasn't he?
And we also know he had other drapery stores elsewhere in the town as well, further south on London Road North, and I think there's a possibility that he actually moved from the High Street as the centre of commerce in Lowestoft, moved from the ancient High Street into London Road North. He had a very large shop there, certainly in the early 1900s.
Okay.
So he was one of the big businessmen of Lowestoft.
What year would that advert have been from?
It's very, very difficult to pinpoint it because I tried using the census, but I can't find him. The census every 10 years. Obviously, a lot can change in 10 years. But I can find him, being a general or fancy draper, in a shop almost opposite here in the late 19th century. So it's very, very difficult to pin this down.
The list of items that he sells feels late Victorian, so
Yes.
that's late 1800s or early 1900s even,
yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still in the period where people would know what a mantle is
Yes. And
and go in and ask them, can I have some fullness, please?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to zoom in
See
picture of the shop. Yeah.
And of course, it's so typical of a wonderful fascia there. The windows, again, are typical Victorian sash windows that slide up and down rather than opening out. And of course, right at the top, we do have a garret there. Today, the shop is gone.
Yes. Yeah.
And in the 1980s, it was converted. You can see where the shop front has been removed from number 50, been bricked up. Quite nice front doors put there. And the whole property has been converted.
The front door is almost echoing the look of the house next door, Crown House, isn't it? It's got
Yes.
It's obviously taken into consideration what that looks like.
And of course, so now we've got 50 and 50A. Because they subdivided.
Yeah, and in some ways it's nice that in the life of a building it can be a shop, it can be a house, and it can sometimes go back the other way.
Oh yeah, well this is what they're saying. A friend of mine who was a surveyor, he says he looks upon houses as being more or less and probably as organic. They change with the needs of each generation. There might be a day, probably won't be anymore, but when this could be converted back into a shop.
Okay.
We know Hayes the Ironmonger's further up was once a big house, and it became a shop. The way High Street's going at the moment, I think it's on the cards that we'll see more shops close and become converted into apartments and flats.
And if Mr. Wheatley was still there, he probably wouldn't be selling shirtings and mantles.
No, he could become another zero waste store.
Yes, exactly, yes, yeah.